Hey boys and girls, it's Miss Morse coming back to read another chapter in The Quest of Quentin. Hope you enjoyed the first chapter. I did. It got really exciting at the end. I've never been one. I wished I could have been. My boys loved Harry Potter. I took them to the movies. Sometimes I fell asleep. I know I'm weird. But they loved it and read all the books and all that. But something about these kind of stories I have trouble kind of getting into. But yesterday I did. I got really excited. If you don't remember what happened or you haven't listened to it, make sure you go back and listen to chapter 1, because you won't understand chapter 2 if you hadn't listened to chapter 1. Okay, so Quentin's daddy has put him down into a hole in the damp earth to hide him, and told him if he didn't come back that he would need to go on without him. So it's gotten really interesting. All right, so chapter 2. That, I don't know if that's his father, but I do know that's Quentin. A reluctant parting. Several hours must have passed. Quentin had grown tired enough to doze a few times, but he couldn't be sure for how long. Morning might well have arrived already. Still he didn't move. You remember, he's down in a hole. He doesn't see daylight or anything. He kept waiting. He dozed again, but was awakened by the sound of the trapdoor being unlocked, then the metal creak of an ungreased handle being turned. After so much silence here, these sounds were alarmingly loud. That and Quentin's uncertainty about who was actually opening the door caused him to cower back against the tunnel wall. The door lifted open. Looking up, Quentin was relieved to see the face of his father, his features exposed by the torchlight against the starry sky. I'm glad his dad came back. Quentin stood, eager to leap out into freedom and fresh air, but his father was with great haste jumped into the opening beside him and closed the trap door above them. Quickly, my son, we have to get out of here, now. He was probably whispering that, though, not hollering it. He held out the torch and began sprinting through the spider webs, crisscrossing the tunnel's walkway. Quentin could barely keep up. Between breaths, he asked, "What's going on up there?" "The enemy has captured 6 of the 7 swords. My brother knights were overcome. They've been replaced by agents of the Dark Master." Oh. From the blow of this news, Quentin nearly stumbled. He recovered himself, hurrying to catch up again to his father's swift pace. "Did they get inside the keep?" he asked, "and take the golden scroll?" His father's voice stayed strong. "They needed my sword to enter and demanded it. I pretended hopelessness in our defeat, and I joined them in unlocking the doors. But when they opened, I sprinted to the rotunda and grabbed the scroll." "You have it?" I was looking back at the picture to see if I saw a picture. I don't see him holding the scroll. Let's see if he has it or not. He heard his father tap his chest beneath his cloak. What's another word for cloak? Coat. So he must have it up under his clothes. "Yes, but we're in grave danger. Whatever proceeds from the keep determines our people's course. Now that the Dark Master has the keep, he'll spread his tyranny and darkness with little to stop him, and he'll do all he can to hunt down this scroll and destroy it." Speaking those distressing words seemed to make his father run even faster. After several paces, he added, "There's only one thing I know to do. We must make for the house of the hermit shepherd. He's a wise old man, and he may have the counsel we need." That means he may know what to tell them to do. They finally reached the tunnel's end. After motioning for Quentin to stop, his father stepped out cautiously and looked around. Come on out," his father whispered, "quietly. The Dark Master has surely sent his forces to find this scroll." Quentin stepped out carefully. Overhead, through openings here and there in the canopy of tree branches, they could make out the first faint light of dawn in the sky. As they made their way through the thick brush of the forest floor, Quentin kept hoping he'd wake up soon from this bad dream. But it was no dream. The entire land was now in peril. That means in trouble. And he and his father were caught in the middle of it. When golden sunlight shone in the treetops, his father suggested a stop for rest. Quentin was more than agreeable. He found a thicket offering a good enough spot beneath for sleeping. He quickly drifted out of consciousness. He meant to sleep. It seemed like only minutes had passed when he found himself shaken awake. "Quentin," his father whispered voice signaled alarm. "They found our trail. They're closing in." They heard the sound of horns not far away. Later they heard them again, sounding closer. His father moved even faster. Quentin thought his own racing heartbeats might burst through his chest. Suddenly his father stopped. He turned, grabbed Quentin's shoulders, and looked him straight in the eyes. "We're splitting up." This was the last thing Quentin wanted to hear. "What?" Shaking his head, he couldn't keep the tears from filling his eyes. "Quentin, listen. I'm not abandoning you, but if the enemy finds us together, they'll likely kill us both." He lowered his hands from Quentin's shoulders. "But they don't yet know about you." From beneath his tunic, his father pulled out the golden scroll and pressed it into Quentin's hands. "They'll be searching only for me. But there's still hope for our land if the scroll's in the hands of somebody nobody suspects." Quentin understood. Gripping the scroll, he searched his father's eyes. "What am I to do?" "Look for the hermit shepherd's house. He'll help guide us. That's my hope." At that moment, they heard the growling rustle of trampling feet through the brush. "Hide, Quentin," his father whispered, "and stay hidden. I'll draw them off. When all is quiet, go north as fast as you can for the hermit shepherd's house." With that, his father dashed through the trees, heading south, making a great commotion as he ran. Ooh, that means they're going to get him. He's trying to get him away from Quentin. Quentin plunged beneath a thicket nearby and burrowed in. He heard horns sounding and shouts. Suddenly he was alarmed to hear what sounded like waves of the sea. He dared not move or even open his eyes as dozens upon dozens of dark warriors rushed past him in pursuit of his father. The roar subsided. The sounds of the chase grew more distant, then finally died away. Quentin emerged from his hiding spot and headed north. That's chapter 2. We'll read the next chapter tomorrow or real soon. Please meet with us tomorrow. I have sent the link out for our onto Dojo for our class Zoom tomorrow. Look forward to seeing you. Bye-bye.